So this is part of the process. This part of the process isn't about finding out who you are. It's about finding out who you are not. So you can get rid of it, and who you are will shine through. That's why self-knowledge avails us. Nothing. We need to find out what God wants us to be. So there's a little moral checklist in your notes there. There's some vocabulary words. We're going to look at fear. We're going to look at resentment. So little definitions. Fear is the faith that something bad is going to happen. That's a good one, eh? Fear is the faith that something bad is going to happen. Resentment is wrong judgments. Fear, wrong believing. Harms, wrong actions. Fears usually revolve around three things: afraid of losing what I have, afraid of not getting what I want, or afraid of someone finding out what I did. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him or her. If I am trying to make myself unself-centered, isn't that still being self-centered? Fear. False evidence appearing real. A little acronym. To be wronged is nothing unless you insist on remembering it. Woo! If I totally, at the depth of my being, trusted God, I would never experience fear in an unhealthy way. So my fears and anxieties reveal my current unbelief in God. So then we have some more definitions. Probably we don't need to read them all. What we're going to do is look at this as a moral inventory. So we do have inventory sheets. If anybody's done retail, you had like 2 days of inventory where they shut down the store, and it's just to make sure the books all balanced, the stocks, somebody's not taking out parcels out the back room. So this is just some inventory definitions. You can look them over at your own leisure. Some of them character, what character is, what defect is, dishonest, fear, frightened, inconsiderate, those kind of things. So then quickly just getting into resentment. In Ephesians 4:31, get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, brawling, slander, along with every form of malice. So the word actually comes from the French word sedentary. Can anybody say that?
Sedentary.
There you go. And what does that mean?
Slow, like slothful.
No.
Sedentary means to sit down.
Feel.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, maybe you're saying.
You mean on the sunset?
Yeah, there you go. All right. I should have taken a little linguistics time on my own, and so that means feel, and then what does re mean? Means over. So re-feel over and over.
Yeah, you're gonna sit down.
So causes of resentment. Resentment can result from a variety of situations involving perceived wrongdoing from an individual, and so many times there is such a perception that we hold due to the black dots. Remember the little black dots that cause us to get the worms our way? And so many times I've worked with in a rehab center and worked with tons of men, and there's things that we do all day, and there's people that perceive things that are not even there. I remember once I can remember hundreds of times, and especially this kind of scenario where I go out and maybe bring a guy or two and then come back to the house, and we might have got something at the hardware store or somewhere, and then this one guy in particular, he was really, you could tell he was upset, visibly upset, wouldn't talk to anybody. I was like, what happened? And he said, well, you said you were going to take me with you and you never took me. I didn't tell anybody I was even leaving. The two guys were at the door. And it's like his perception was that I was taking him and I left him behind. And so many times our perception, we can see things totally, not everybody's out to try and get you and abandon you and hurt you. And perceived wrongdoing from an individual, and often are sparked by expressions of injustice or humiliation. A lot of resentments come from scenarios of injustice and humiliation. Common sources of resentment include public humiliation, incidences such as accepting negative treatment without voicing any protest, an object of regular discrimination or prejudice, envy, jealousy, feeling used or taken advantage of by others, and having achievements go unrecognized while others succeed without working as hard. Resentment can also be generated by dyadic interactions, such as emotional rejection, denial by another person, deliberate embarrassment, or belittling another person, or ignorance, putting down, or scorn by another person. And so all these things, when you start listing your resentments, we're going to go down the list and you're going to think of these things, these scenarios. Where did I receive injustice? Where did I have achievements that didn't get recognized? Where were others promoted and I was put down? Where was I embarrassed or belittled by other people? And it's like, I think everybody, I don't think anybody was exempt from being bullied at school or made fun of. It's like, how did you deal with it though? And you know, if you dealt with it bad, oh my goodness, kids are so mean. And they just pounce on it. And it's like, oh, we got that kind of reaction. Here we go. And the poor kid is bullied for all of public school. So think of those situations and don't adultize it. Don't be like, okay, no, it was, they're forgiven. It's covered under the blood. Right? Just think of those situations of the injustice, of the embarrassment, the humiliation, the discrimination, being taken advantage of. And don't adultize it. Adultize it? Is that a word? It is today. Triple word score. Adultizing. Woo. And I can make up words. Can I? Adultizing. Don't use your adult mind to justify or make excuses for. Own it. Be honest. Don't rationalize. Oh my goodness. I appreciate and applaud your help. I am by far not humiliated, and this will not be on my resentment list. So good example, everybody. I'm going to take a drink of water. So when you're thinking of these things, don't rationalize it. Do the honesty part and go, why am I reactionary when I see the news and people are being taken advantage of and injustices are happening? Where's that coming from? All right, signs. Unlike many emotions, resentment does not have physical tags exclusively related to that telegraphed when a person is feeling this emotion. However, physical impressions associated with unrelated emotions such as anger or envy may be exhibited. There are physical emotions that you're going to feel. Resentment can be self-diagnosed by looking for signs such as the need for emotional regulation, such as fake happiness. Hey, how are you doing? I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm good. And there's so many times when you ask somebody that, maybe number one, you don't even want to know the answer, so why do we ask? But like when you do ask, like you can always tell when something's not fine. If you're in a relationship and you're like, why do you think somebody's asking if you're okay? That means you're not okay. When somebody's asking that, just here's a tip of the day. When somebody's asking if you're okay, hey, are you okay? The answer is no. Why do you say yes? It's fine. Why's everybody bugging me? Look for these signs. Fake happiness. While with a person to cover true feelings towards him, or speaking in a sarcastic or demeaning way to or about another person. You look at sarcasm, it's anger's ugly uncle. Sarcastic people are